Hello and welcome to Biotechnica's brand new episode on CRISPR Bioinformatics internship. I'm your host Shekhar, and today I have a special expert with me, and none other than Farhan Zamir sir. And we're going to discuss on what is special in this internship, why exactly you should learn CRISPR, and why you should learn the bioinformatics way. We're going to discuss a lot of things which is included in the curriculum, what's new sir is trying to bring into this particular internship, and we'll also try to understand why this is the need of the hour for young researchers just like you. So to all the students who are watching this recording, please make sure that you comment below whatever is your question or whatever intrigues you, so that we can come up with answers and help you grow in your career. Okay. So without wasting much of our time, let's bring in our very own Farhan Zamir sir. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Hello, sir. You are audible, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, sir. Thanks for asking, sir.
Thank you so much for joining us, sir, for this special episode. So, like we discussed for the Bioinformatics Global Tools and Techniques internship, we are again back to discuss the curriculum of our upcoming internship. But before that, sir, how is the response of BGTI Bioinformatics Global Tools and Techniques internship? How are the students and are they liking the course? How is it going?
Sir, to be very frank, sir, my students in BGT course, they are putting their heart and soul in understanding both the foundation and the application part of it. And many a times, normally, as you know, that most of our classes are like, rather than having just a monologue, we make it a dialogue, so that any point of time they have a query, any point of time they have a question, they stop me at that point and then they clarify it. So that they do not, there's no necessity they need to wait until the end, and then many a time they even sometimes they also forget the question. So then and there we are
Right.
giving the solution for it. And very importantly, every day we are trying to have small assignments, sir, every day. And
Wonderful.
they are trying to
Wonderful.
work on it. And then if there are certain technical glitches, again on the next class, the first 10 minutes have been dedicated to solve their problems, sir. So this is how BGTI is going. Not only the students are enjoying, I am enjoying it, because there are students from all over the globe, not just from India, from
Right.
all over the globe. Just to tell you, sir, there are people who are from extreme disciplines. Example, I have mechanical engineers. I have computer
Oh,
science engineers. Okay, they are trying to
wow.
learn biology. So
Right.
that gives me a lot of pleasure, sir.
Right. And I also learned that a lot of out of India students are also attending your internship. That's a great
Yes, yes,
thing to
yes,
know.
sir. Yes,
And
sir.
in fact, their time zones are different, still they are attending. And I must tell you,
That's
in
the
your,
dedication.
yeah, and in the other internship, which is running parallelly coding for biologists, there are 4 Americans attending our internship and learning coding. So that's a great pride for us. So,
Yes, sir.
without wasting much time, sir, let's jump into today's session. So, today's session is about CRISPR Bioinformatics internship, a new approach which we are trying to bring into today's world. So, why CRISPR today? What is your take on that? Why CRISPR?
Sir, you know, now everybody were just into data revolution. Okay, and then collecting big data, understanding it, sir, depositing it, retrieving it, managing on the databases, cloud computing, all these were there, sir. Now
Right.
people have got saturated. Okay, now there is already the data with you, and nobody wants the data which is already saturated. Now people are, they are so interested in looking in how can I change. Okay, do I have a power with the use of molecular biology? Do I have a power to, it is like CRISPR is just a tool. How do I use this tool on the data which is already existing,
Right.
so that I can make changes, and these changes would be for on a positive end. Say for example, if somebody is
Right.
suffering with a disease, or unknown disease, so can I, rather than searching for therapy, can I do a grassroots level cleanup? Okay, that is how people are like super interested with CRISPR, not just in India, all over the world. Globally, people are
Right.
trying to look into, yeah, they are using CRISPR as a major technology, starting from
Mhm.
bacteriology to cell culture to animal studies, and just on human cell lines, but not directly on humans.
Right. Right.
So
And
CRISPR
even
has
while
become CRISPR has become a necessity for an answer. We need to learn it. We need to learn
yes,
it now. That's a high time.
absolutely.
High time, sir.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now that it has become the need for the hour, and I was researching from the industry point of view, which are the companies in India, abroad, as well as institutions in India which are doing research, and I found out a big plethora of institutions who are investing in this particular technique. So that's a real good thing for our students, that after this internship they can get placed in any of these companies and institutions and pursue their
Absolutely.
careers. That's a
Absolutely.
great thing, sir. So,
Sir, when you
sir,
said about opportunities
yeah,
about the students, there are two
yeah,
opportunities, sir. Industry are looking for two opportunities because CRISPR
right.
and bioinformatics opens up two different ways, sir. One is the
Mhm.
opportunity in the wet lab. The other one is in the dry
Mhm.
lab. Because normally
Okay.
in bioinformatics, what I do is there are a lot of tools and techniques what I need to use it for CRISPR so that I know where
Right.
exactly is my guide RNA, where is my the target. Okay, how do I change this is just on my computers. But on the way,
Right.
whatever I do on the computers, can I validate it? So the first part of the
Mm.
story is called a dry lab component or in silico component.
Right.
And once I know that this is my hypothesis, it is like an astrology. Okay, I say that this works, but how to validate it? So for the validation, we need to always come onto the wet lab into our laboratory using
Okay.
our molecular biological techniques. We need to validate it. So for the companies which are actually involved in R&D component in the wet lab, so our students can have both dry lab expertise and wet lab expertise, sir.
Wet lab
So
also.
this is the major
Absolutely.
this is the major advantage, sir.
Right. Right. So I can see that the initial foundation of CRISPR will be taught by Tanushree ma'am, which she
Yes,
herself is an expert of CRISPR, and then you will come in with all your expertise from module two
sir.
and
Just
three
just to just
onwards.
to tell you,
So,
sir.
sir,
Sir, just to tell you,
yeah.
Tanushree ma'am, she brings up lot of expertise in CRISPR because in previous
Mhm.
interactions and previous internships with Tanushree ma'am has she has already so much of expertise with CRISPR. Now
Yes.
students they understand well, especially in terms of
Mhm.
foundation and basic. So it would be very nice if
Right.
two people come together so that the
Right.
expertise could be shared between the students. So that's an advantage of
Okay.
having Tanushri madam on the board.
Yeah. So, sir, now coming to the bioinformatics part, which is the module three, you have mentioned about the Biosoft tools which we will be using for CRISPR. So, what will be your approach in training students? How do you plan to take this forward?
So if you look into the curriculum, we call it as Biosoft Tools. Here,
Mm-hmm.
around 18 tools, no, exclusively dedicated towards CRISPR have been mentioned, sir. It is not
Right.
directly, it is not only CRISPR. We have also started with the basics of molecular biology. Now, for the validation
Right.
purpose, how do I design a primer? Okay, what are the parameters to design a primer? So once I know the parameter, then applying the same logic onto CRISPR becomes much more easier. So it is through the foundation to the application part. That is what we have planned,
Mm-hmm.
and we are covering around 18 tools, sir, directly on
Oh,
CRISPR, and
wow.
this is 18 tools have been covered. Now, if you want to read out the names, I can read it out. But there are huge amount of
Yeah.
tools wherein our students should be proficient in using it,
Right.
sir. It is not just they say the full form of
Right.
CRISPR, but it is not just they use the theoretical part of it, but our students
Right.
should be working it on hands on, sir. So they should be proficient in
Very good.
in actually executing it, and that's a need for companies, sir. That's a need for research.
Mhm. Right. So, sir, 18 tools which you are going to train students. Now, these tools are readily available, or are they proprietary in nature?
No, sir. At Biotechnica, Shekhar sir always tells me this. Okay, at Biotechnica, once we finish the internship, okay, so our students should not feel that they are like handicapped without the tools. Okay, because it's
Right.
very easy for us to take up subscriptions, and as you know, all these Biosoft tools are very very expensive. Even for 6 months subscription, it is very expensive, sir. So what we have done is we have all these 18 tools. We have made it a point. They are absolutely available for free, sir, and they're like on an open
Okay.
source system, and we are using it so that our students they can inculcate the learning what they have done
Right.
in the research work. Either it might be
Okay.
their their theses or dissertation or their postdoc works. So that's the intention, sir.
Okay.
So the bottom line of the story, everything is available for free. Even the
Right.
data is available for free, the tools are available for free, and then we will see
Just
how best we can utilize this particular data.
Right. So we have to implement these tools and learn and how to analyze data and interpret it. So how about the interpretation, sir? How are you going to train them about the interpretation of this data which we are going to get it?
Sir, interpretation becomes the key component because you have the data, you will subject the data into the tool, but what is the data trying to tell you? So the interpretation becomes extraordinarily important, and hence we make sure that the all the interpretations have been done on case studies, and especially
Right.
we'll take case studies, and then we'll try to make our students work hands on, so that I'm trying to deliver from here and they are able to work on an online mode itself. They are trying to execute the things, sir. And many times the problem with bioinformatics is when I teach, people would think, oh,
Mm-hmm.
sir is just clicking mouse and then the data is coming out of the blue. Okay, but that's
Mm-hmm.
not the case.
Mm-hmm.
The way you understand data, the 360-degree of
Right.
understanding of the data becomes important, and that's how we make sure that our students learn, hands-on with their. This is called as experiential learning. So they will experience
Right.
the data, they will interpret the data, they understand the data, and then they come with a conclusion for the data, sir.
Okay. So while listening to all this, sir, a question has come in my mind. Like, if somebody is just getting started with their, bioinformatics, they know only the basics, or they only know the basics of CRISPR. How handy this particular internship will be? Will it be for the beginners also, or only for advanced users? Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Yeah. So my question to you, sir, was, uh, uh, what if somebody is a beginner in bioinformatics or beginner in CRISPR? Will this internship will be useful to him also?
Obviously, sir. So, I was trying to talk about BGT. We have started from the
Mhm.
foundation to the, application part of it. The same is true with
Right.
CRISPR internship also, sir. And especially with CRISPR, we are trying to amalgamate two different branches. That is CRISPR
Right.
technology and with that of bioinformatics. So,
Mhm.
our students should not get panicked because we will start from the scratch, sir. So we always
Right.
trust with the de novo synthesis of pathway analysis, and
Right.
we always trust on de novo kind of learning also, sir. So we will start from the scratch.
Wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
nothing to
So I've
nothing to
been
worry,
looking
sir.
at, yeah, I've been looking at the curriculum. It really looks exciting, and I personally didn't knew that so much of bioinformatics approach is existing in CRISPR. When it was proposed to me, I felt, okay, this is a new method of approaching CRISPR. And I was like, okay, let's look into it. But when I started researching on it, I was like, wow, this is something which is really incredible. And I must recommend all our students to enroll because, of course, Farhan Zamir sir is there, Tanushri ma'am is there. But more than that, the approach is really useful for the industry. So it's like, it makes you industry ready, right, sir?
Right, sir. Very true. And especially, sir, if you look into unit number two, in unit number two,
Mm-hmm.
we are talking about the classification, the principle, and validation methods.
Right.
Starting from PCR, RT-PCR to ELISA, fluorimeter. Now you can ask me, sir, you
Mhm.
can just teach us just RT-PCR. Why are you teaching us four or five different alternative methods? The reason for this
Right.
alternative method is because I don't know what is the facility
Mhm.
which is available with our student or in their laboratory. So
Right.
from starting from a 2 lakh rupee machine, I'm teaching for until a 50 lakh rupee machine. So depending on the availability of the equipment, our students should not have
Wonderful.
any constraints of validation, sir. Because all the research publications are asking for validation, and hence from a small machine to the largest machine, we are trying to deliver
Mhm.
in terms of validation. That's another important point, sir.
Wow, that's really useful for our students, and that's really convincing that whether whatever facilities you have, you can still perform your experiments in the lab. So, sir, coming to the fourth module, which is the final module, wet lab experimental designs and protocols. How are we going to train our students on this, and what are the kind of assignments to expect out of this?
Right, sir. Previously, when we did the CRISPR 1.0,
Yeah.
the major there was a major request from most of our students, and the request was, sir, can we actually execute it in a particular lab? So what we felt was we need to fill in this particular lacuna, and hence we made sure that a virtual training, hands-on, step-by-step protocol SOPs will be given. And if you look into the unit
Mhm.
number four, the first unit is biochemical calculations and concentrations, because when we do molecular biology, concentrations
Mhm.
are not in ml, they are in microliter, millimolar, and all those things. So in if
Right.
if we are not proficient in calculation, it becomes very, very difficult. So hence what I have done is one complete hour has been dedicated towards biochemical calculation, so that our students, they know how to actually work on this particular laboratory bench. Okay, and then we are
Wow.
taking an example.
Wow.
We are taking an example
Mhm.
of a disease, especially in dogs.
Mhm. Okay.
This is a work what we have executed. So we now know how
Okay.
exactly are the results. So with that as a
Mhm.
data, I want to show them a real time data, so that they feel step by step they are actually executing it. Okay,
Right.
and I will give them the entire protocol, so they can go back to their laboratory and they can still execute it. So, biological sample
Wow.
is just a biological sample. I can do it on a plant sample. You can do it on a human sample, and somebody
Human
can
sample.
do it on a cell line, or depending on their
Right.
requirement. But on the way, the
Mhm.
protocol still remains the same. So I wanted our students to understand the stepwise protocol, and once they understand the
Right.
stepwise protocol, sir, it is like you learn cooking. So once you understand
Mhm.
the secrets of cooking, it doesn't matter whether you're cooking biryani or whether you're cooking vegetable rice. So it doesn't make a difference, sir.
Right.
So it's the art of
Right.
cooking.
Right.
So that the art of
Of
molecular
course.
biology in terms of CRISPR and bioinformatics has to be learned. And
Mathematics.
hence that amalgamation has been done, sir.
Right. So, sir, one question I have for you is we have a lot of students in bioinformatics, global tools and techniques internship. If they want to enroll into CRISPR, will it be a repetition or will it be something new they'll learn?
So absolutely, this would be a different science, sir. Because
Right.
what they're learning there is a genomic, proteomic, transcriptomic, and metabolomic approach. But here, what they're
Right.
learning is how do I use a tool which is called as CRISPR for actually editing,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or for deleting, or for any kind of replacements for molecular diagnostics. So that is an
Right.
entirely different domain, and this is an entirely different domain, sir. So, and just to tell you,
Wonderful.
sir, because I always have a conversation with my students in BGT, they are like so excited. They
Right.
say, "Sir, I have already enrolled for
Wow.
CRISPR also." So I feel so happy
Wonderful.
for my students.
That's really great to hear.
And
So,
that's a student from Denmark. That's a student from
oh,
Denmark. Yes,
student
sir.
from Denmark enrolling in another internship because he or
Uh,
she loved the previous internship.
right,
That's
right,
really
right, sir.
convincing and interesting to know. So, sir, I think I've asked you enough questions. One last concluding line from your side before we end this show.
Sir, the ultimate thing, the gist of the story, what I want to tell is, stay advanced, stay updated, with the technology, especially in life sciences, because you otherwise, you will feel yourself as outdated, because technology is
Right.
improving every day, day by day. Today we are having a conversation. In this particular time, there's a new technology which has been built in. So it becomes very, very
Absolutely.
important. It becomes very, very important that we stay up to date, and whatever we learn through all this internship, it becomes important that we apply it onto our
Real
life
life.
science research, because this is how you can become employable. Not just you, this is how you can create employability, sir. Especially
Of
under
course.
bio entrepreneurship, government is actually executing a lot of funding, both for males
Mhm.
and females. Females have a lot of
Right.
opportunities. So I request everybody to learn this technology and apply this
Mhm.
into mainstream areas, wherein we can always minimize suffering in the society, either through diagnosis, detection, or therapy, sir. So this is what I wanted to tell.
Wonderful.
And remember, all our students are capable of doing it, sir. The only thing is,
Wonderful.
the ignition from Shaker sir has to be done. The light, the rocket is already there. The rocket is already there.
Right.
The fire is required. That's it, sir.
Absolutely. We will certainly do it. Thank you so much, sir, for those really convincing words and helpful words, which will help our students to decide whether they should enroll for this internship or not. And I'm deeply indebted to you and Tanushri ma'am for coming up with this idea, this plan, and creating the module, which is so good for all our students, whether they want to go into research or they want to get into teaching, or no matter they want to go into bio entrepreneurship. This particular domain is really insightful and exciting for all our students. In fact, I would like to share that 72% of Biotechnica subscribers have voted that they want to make a career in research. And that means this particular internship is for all of you, whoever is watching this video recording. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. And it was wonderful interacting with you. And to all our audience,
Always,
enroll
always
into
it's a
the
pleasure.
CRISPR. Thank you. Thank you so
Always
much,
a
sir.
pleasure, sir. Thank you for that innovation, because people will only see Zamir sir or Tanushree madam, but they will always, they don't know the hard work of Shekhar sir, which who
No,
will try to bring in the entire component onto this digital platform. Sir, on behalf of our biotechnicals, all my students and faculties, we thank you for all the cooperation and assistance, whatever you do, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
thank you. Thank you so much, sir. And to all our students, if in case you want to enroll, the link is given in the description and you can enroll fast because seats are limited. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye bye.